together. Let me just pull it up so that we can look at your actual homework responses as a class. So let me share my screen. I'm looking at first and foremost, hello, good morning. It's still morning. Give me a wave. Manuela still looks sweet. So does Kaylin. Joe, give me some smiling faces. Okay, thanks. All right, here we go. So I'm going to share my screen so we can quickly go over our homework from yesterday. Yesterday we learned about the Iranian Revolution. I have 21 responses, which is pretty good, only four incomplete. So we're going to look at this here. Give me a thumbs up if you can see what I see, where you can see the responses, like a pie chart. Thumbs up if you see a pie chart. Great. So I'm going to go over the questions. First question was, a major cause of the Islamic Revolution in Iran in 1979 was a concern by Islamic leaders that the answer is that traditional values are being undermined by the Western ideas. 81% of you guys got that right. This one's a little bit tricky. In 1979, Islamic Revolution in Iran was in reaction to the failure of the Shah. I'm actually going to accept two answers. I will accept meet the social and political needs of the people and also modernize the nation's economy because we did talk about a scaling economy. Right? This one is incorrect. Establish political ties with the Western nations because that was actually the problem and a cause of the revolution. So it doesn't make sense to that answer. Next, in the 70s, when Iran was ruled by the Shah, a major criticism, most of you guys said it was correct, was that the non-Islamic influences on the cultural economy. They wanted the Westerners out. They thought that the Shah depended too much on Westerners, which encouraged revolution. In terms of the crisis, I have you guys' responses here. I'm actually going to have someone share out locally what you learned because we did go over it in class. So, can I have Deborah? What was the Iranian hostage crisis?
The Iranian hostage crisis. Will you want to read what that says?
No, I just.
It was basically like it was basically like a group of Iranian protesters, and basically what happened was that uh I think that they was attacking. They attacked an embassy. I think the United States embassy, and then they had taken hostage. They were taking hostage for a really long time, and basically um that's when the United States decided that they wanted to give medical help and basically provide protection to the Shah.
Kiara, you want to add on?
Um, the people who did it was Iranian students from a university in Iran, and then they wanted the Shah to come back to Iran so he could go through so he could face trial and be executed. So the U.S. Gave them diplomats, and then when they did that, they released the African American hostages first, and then for a few months later, then the Shah finally returned, and then everybody left, and then unfortunately there was 8 servicemen that died because of a helicopter.
Excellent. Oh, really great job. Thank you for kind of investing in that time. Give me a thumbs up if you're doing fine with this Google Forms homework system. Excellent. So it seems like it's pretty clear. I think Spez is going to start using it, maybe a few other teachers, but I think it's an easy way to kind of see. And it was also cool to see like a summary of everyone's types of responses. We're going to go ahead and jump into our text for today. It's a kind of a continuation. So the day before yesterday, we talked about Islamic fundamentalism, right? And that's thinking about the return to traditional Islam. Right, and that tied right into this idea of this revolution because it's like the people were frustrated with the leaders or the shahs being so connected to the West. So it makes sense that we have the revolution. Who comes into power, right, after this revolution? Stefan, who came into power after the revolution?
The person that came into power after this resolution was Shah.
No, the Shah was who was taken out of power. Shania, who then took over after the Shah. So yesterday we made a chart. The left side of the chart we had Shah, right? And we talked about who came into power after and how this new person was different. I'm gonna go back to Deborah. Thank you so much.
Khomeini.
Yeah, Ayatollah Khomeini, and this is the name that you guys need to know. So if you do not know who that is, I would suggest going back and rewatching that video, rewatching the notes that we took from yesterday. If you can go ahead in your packets and turn to our text for today, we're going to be talking about the conflict that erupted between Iran and Iran-Iraq war. And before we jump into that, Manuela, can you tell me what happened to the Ottoman Empire at the end of World War One?
It was no longer like there was no more Ottoman Empire after World War One.
Yeah, right. And so, but what type of system was created of? What happened to their land, Manuela?
It was divided amongst other powers.
Excellent. Do you remember the name of that system?
No.
It's called the Mandate System, just to refresh our memory. Okay, it's called the Mandate System. And so we're gonna kind of rewind back to that time and think about the influence of that Mandate System over the whole kind of Middle Eastern nation, what impact it had on the people, and how that led to conflict between different countries. Can I have Jennifer, can you read the first paragraph of the Iran-Iraq War? Everyone should be reading along. I'm not sure why it's not unmuting you. Can you? Let me try it too. Okay, it's not quite working right now. That's okay. Angelique, can you go ahead and read the first paragraph, please?
Alrighty.
Thank you.
After World War One, the areas of the former Ottoman Empire were distributed and created into mandates that were governed by either Britain or France.
Sorry.
Wait, you scrolled all the way down. Mark Sykes represented the British government, and Francis George Picot represented by the French government. These two men created lines that became the boundaries of the Middle Eastern nations. The map that these two men drew up, known as the Sykes-Picot Agreement, failed to take into account how these borders would impact the Arabs living in this area. Iraq, Transjordan, and Palestine became put under British influence, and Syria and Lebanon were under French influence.
Excellent. Thank you so much. So basically, as we just read, after World War One, the Ottoman Empire was broken up. The French and the British made the Sykes-Picot Agreement, and they just split up all that land. We're going to see what were the problems. As we're reading the next part, we're looking for the problems that this created. Caitlin, can I have you? Kiara, you read the next.
The first problem with these borders were that it was about Arab knowledge. The Arabs were promised that if they rebelled against the Ottomans, they would be given independence. After these countries did not gain independence after World War I, the colonial powers continued to exert influence throughout the 1920s, 1930s, and 1940s. This led to an increase in Arab nationalism since the Arabs united together with the main goal of getting rid of the colonial powers, including all Western influence.
The second part.
Hold on one second, Kiara. Hold on 1 second. Lewis, right? What were the Ottomans promised after World War One? According to this paragraph.
You're talking to me?
Yeah, what were they promised? Or like, what did they not get? What did they think they were getting and ended up not getting that? I'm going to come back to you. That. Hold on 1 second. You're still muted.
They were supposed to be given independence, but then after World War One, they weren't.
Excellent, right? They said if you participate with us in this war and you help us, you turn against your leaders of the empire, we will give you independence and you'll be free, you'll be your own country. That is not what happened, right? And when they recreated these borders, what was the first problem of this and them creating these new borders, Olivia?
The first problem, right?
Yes.
Okay. The first problem is that it was without Arab knowledge or like they didn't know about it. Or?
Yeah, can you explain what that means? So they create the borders and what? Can you just explain what you mean by that without their knowledge?
Can you repeat it? You were glitching out when you were talking.
Yeah, explain what you mean by that without their knowledge.
Oh, they didn't know that. They didn't know that all of this was going on. So like they had no idea this was happening.
Excellent. Perfect. Thank you so much. So the borders were created. One, they were promised independence. Two, these new borders created without them even knowing what was going on. They had no voice in that whatsoever. Kiara, next paragraph, please.
The second problem was with actual borderlines. Sykes-Picot had intended to form straight lines borders. However, this did not correspond to tribal, religious, or ethnic territories. These lines were split up regions of Sunni Muslims and Shia Muslims, and various ethnic groups might end up split between two different countries and end up as a minority group within that country. This problem was not eventually immediately as the struggle to eject European powers out of the region united all the Arabs, Persians, Kurds, and other groups together. During the 1950s through 1970s, Arab nationalists grew with independence and attempt to get rid the Middle East of foreign influence. When strong leaders of the Arab world began taking power, they would often use brutal force to suppress the differences among the people living within a country, which was a direct result of creating boundaries without taking into account the people living in those lands.
Excellent. Sorry, go ahead. Were you done? Yeah, you are. Okay. Those of you that don't have your cameras on, Prince, Joseph, Angelo, Emmanuel, make sure that you have them on. Naima, what was the second problem that of the way that the Ottoman Empire was divided up? Naima. Hello. I'll come back to you in just a moment. Go ahead, Hyra.
Wait. Another problem was that the border lines didn't correspond with ethnic groups or any cultural references. It would just split up a bunch of cultures.
Excellent. Naima, can you explain that in your own words, please?
I think that, what's the question? I didn't hear.
What is the second problem, right, that the Ottoman Empire being divided up created?
It created influence under the French.
No. Stefan, what was the second problem?
The second problem was the borderlines, because they wanted straight borderlines, but it didn't correspond to the religious, tribal, or ethnic territories.
Excellent, right? So imagine, right, so like, I'm trying to think. You have the boroughs, right? You have the boroughs. And honestly, the boroughs, even though it's not specific, you tend to have, for example, a lot of Puerto Ricans and Dominicans in like the Bronx and like the Heights, Washington Heights area. You may have different communities that live in Brooklyn, right? Imagine suddenly the boroughs were changed and someone just came and redrew these lines, right? So this was no longer the Bronx, it was now called something else, and someone else just redrew those lines. You have to think about the ways that the cultures that developed in those areas or the communities that developed, right? This now changes their dynamic, right? So imagine instead of Bronx being like just the top half of the city, it's now split this way. So like, right, this is the Bronx, and then this half is, let's say, Manhattan. That would change the dynamic, and that could potentially result in tension between those groups, especially if those borders were redrawn without any of our permission. Give me a thumbs up if that makes sense. Lewis has a thumbs down, but I see mostly thumbs up. All right, last paragraph, Emmanuel.
Iraq was formed out of three already existing provinces of the Ottoman Empire. The three provinces were a Shia territory in the south, a large Sunni Arab territory in the north and west, and a Sunni Kurdish area in the north. Under the Ottomans, these three territories had nothing to do with each other. The borders made very little sense as the three groups were very different and were now expected to live together without problem. Uh, the king put in place in Iraq in the 1920s was put into power by Britain and was not even from the area. He was from Mecca, Saudi Arabia, and was a Sunni Muslim in a country with a large territory of Shias. This was not a great start to Iraq.
Give me a thumbs up if you're having a problem with, actually a thumbs down if you're having a problem with sound and connection right now, because a couple of you have reached out. Give me a thumbs in terms of sound and connection. If you yourself are having a really big problem, Beth, can you unlock it? And I'm gonna have you leave and come right back. So like just leave and come right back to see if your connection can get better. So Naima, you can do that if you're having really, really hard problems. That down. All right, I want someone to summarize. I'm going to have Eric summarize the two problems that happened after World War I in the Middle East with the new borders. Go ahead.
Can you repeat your question?
Yeah, what were the two problems that happened, right, with the new borders after World War I?
Problem.
Okay, so I'm gonna come back to you. It's in the text, and we just went over it 3 times. Kevin, can you share the two problems that we read about?
Two problems was that one was already existed in the Ottoman Empire, and then another problem was that the borders made very little sense.
In what way? Expand on that. Thank you.
That like there were already different ethnic groups living in different areas, so if you made different borders for different, they would they wouldn't live.
Yeah, no, that's excellent. That is great. Okay, so with that being said, I wanted to just continue on in this packet. We're not going to do that. Just keep going down. Oh, you're missing a map. Okay, I'm going to show you a map really quickly. I have it up here. Right. This is kind of showing us some of the problems of, let me make it a little bit bigger if I can. Oh, it's not letting me. Okay. All right, so essentially this is part of the problem. So when they redrew these district lines, right, it did not take into consideration the different ethnic groups, right? So you have the Shia Muslims, Shia here, but then you have Sunni here, Kurdish, right? And when you're redrawing those borders, it's actually, it is kind of separating the different groups, right? It's kind of separating the different groups. How might the separation or the way that you redrew these borders, how might that cause tension between the people in the middle, living in the Middle East, Daniel? Daniel. Or Kiara.
Because now other people from the Middle East countries are going into their own territories, and they're not happy with this.
Yep, that's potential. Hyra.
Another tension could be that there's different cultures there, so there's gonna be tension on like whose land it really is because of the many different cultures.
Lastly, Quadwell, what other problems could these borders create?
Like it could confuse the ethnic groups on their relationships.
I want to push you. So how can the Sykes-Picot Agreement, the way that they separated up the Middle East, how does that reflect imperialism? How does that connect to kind of imperialist ideas, Kwabo?
Because it connects to imperialist ideas because they broke up the Ottoman Empire into like three provinces, and without really caring about like how they would communicate with each other. That shows imperialism.
Well, okay. I think you're definitely getting there, right? Because imperialism is the idea of kind of taking over countries and doing so without their concern. And so the fact that they did all of this to the Middle East without their concern, it's kind of revealing some of those imperialistic attitudes. We're going to go ahead and go to our next text, which is right here. You should have it, but if not, we're going to now talk about how this new boundaries, how that's created tension between Iran and Iraq over a particular piece of land. You need to read this one carefully because after 5 minutes, we're going to go through this. We're going to break our groups on a cause and effect chart to make sure they can get it completed. Okay, so let's read through this one carefully. Kevin, you're going to go ahead and start us off.
Okay. Iran-Iraq War. The boundaries of Iraq were created by the Sykes-Picot Agreement, which was drawn up by British. Okay, Miss EJ, can you move it to the right a little bit?
Yep, sorry.
British and French diplomats. The boundaries included different groups of people that did not get along. The majority of the Muslims world falls within the Sunni Islam sect, while about 10% are part of the Shia Islam sect. The Shia Muslims are found in Iran, as well as the southern area of Iraq, border between Iran and Iraq. Along the northern border of Iran and Iraq, there is a different group of ethnic Arabs that live in what is Iran. Iranians are ethnically Persian, so this section of Iran includes the Arab minorities of this country. Living within Iraq is a minority group called Kurds. The Kurds live in several countries, including parts of Iraq and Iran.
Excellent. Can I have Genesis read the next paragraph, please? Go ahead, Genesis. Second paragraph. You can't hear? Okay. Jennifer? Second paragraph, please. What's happening with the sound? Okay, we're having a little bit of problems with sound. Let me see. Christina, can you read the second paragraph?
The leader of Iraq, Saddam Hussein, came to power in Iraq officially in 1979, but was a high military commander throughout the 1970s. He took control of the government through a military takeover. The same year that Ayatollah Khomeini came to power in Iran. Khomeini and Hussein had personal animosity with each other. There were many territorial and political disputes between Iraq and Iran. Iraq wanted to take control of the Iranian border territory. Hussein, which was inhabited by ethnic Arabs, Hussein wanted to assert control over the banks of the Shah Al-Arab River, which was historically the border between the two groups of people. Hussein was also concerned that Iran, a largely Shia Muslim nation, would try to incite rebellion among Iraq's Shia population.
For the sake of time, what I'm going to actually do is have us pause there because we only have about 15 minutes. I am going to put you in 4 different, let's say 5 groups. And this cause and effect chart, you're going to complete this based on the rest of the text. I'm going to zoom out a little bit so that you can, oh, no. I'm going to zoom out just a little bit so that you can see the whole chart. You're going to work in a breakout group. The expectation is that this chart is done within 7 minutes. So you're going to finish the reading and finish the chart. Give me a thumbs up if you understand what we are doing for the next 7 minutes. Zara, can you just explain it really quick to the class?
Read the rest of the text, fill in the check within 7 minutes.
So I'm gonna put you into these groups now. Let me stop sharing my screen. I'll put it back up, but at least one person in the group should have the chart so that everyone else can see what it is. And let's do this. Do you remember how to do this, Fez? Am I the host right now? Okay, hold on.
Let's make sure we're all.
Manage participant. Give 1 second. Hopefully we can get this working quickly.
What are you trying to do, Ms. Edwards Johnson?
The breakout groups, I did it the other day, but now I'm forgetting how to do it.
Okay. Give me a second on it. Okay, go to manage participants.
Yep.
Oh, it's because Mr. Speziale is the host. He should have the option to do
Can
the
you make me the
breakout
host and then I can do it? Yeah.
Yeah, just make him. Yeah, make her the host, Mr. Speziale, and then she should be able to break everyone out.
Oh, perfect. I see it here. Okay, here we go. I'm going to put you guys into 5 groups. You guys have 7 minutes. I will let you know the time.
Oh, shoot.
Hello, hello. You guys are muted. I'm not even a host anymore. You guys can hear me? Can you guys unmute yourself?
Yeah.
I don't. And
But you just mute me. Oh, never mind. I got me. I'm okay.
This is a little funky because I really have no idea what we're doing. I didn't expect to be put in one of these groups.
That's funny. So you should get out.
How do I do that? We break our room. But she put me in this room, so maybe she wants me in here.
Oh. Okay, Christina, you already know what you're supposed to do. Also, hi, I haven't seen you in a while. Do the cause and effect chart.
Yeah, I'm gonna bounce.
Okay. So it's only, wait.
Jennifer, why are you still here?
EJ, what role do you want me to play in all this?
If you could just pop into them and make sure that they're on task, that's it.
Okay, can you give me hostship again? Oh, I am a co-host. All right, and then I'll just like pop into them randomly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Naima and Jalissa and Jennifer. Okay, let me get you guys in a group.
How are you seeing the different groups?
I have a tab that says breakout rooms. Jalissa, I'm adding you to a group now.
Oh, it was probably the same as before, where you need to be the actual host. I don't have that ability.
Put you in a group right now. I can just
Okay.
throw you in there. Let's see. Move to breakout room 4. Did you get invited to one?
Am I supposed to get like a notification or something?
Yeah, it should pop up. That's for different kids.
Not yet. Oh, yes. No, yes. To everyone, 5 minutes. I just got your message, but I don't have like a notification to go somewhere else.
It's weird. Maybe it's because you're the co-host.
Yeah, try just making me a normal person.
Okay, let me see. Okay, I gotta go back to manage participants. More.
So what, you can see everything that's going on right now?
No, hold on. Lucy's asking me for help in breakout room 2. I'll be right back.
Sure. Well, this is great because this video is going on YouTube and it's just me. Hello. Hi, Naima. Or
After we assign.
EJ, if you want to pop into breakout rooms and you want me to hang out here and tell people to get back to work, I can. But you're muted.
Get the.
Sorry, go ahead.
So Lewis is asking for the link again. Let me give that to him. Send it out to everyone. Not wanting me to do that. I'll be back.
Sure. Hey, Naima.
I didn't get assigned to a breakout room.
You and me both. So how's it going?
Horrible.
Why?
My internet connection is failing. And
How many kids you guys got on the remote learning program?
3.
You, Jeanju, and who else?
My older brother.
You have an older brother?
I have 2 older brothers.
What? How old are they?
One is 15 and one is 17.
Oh, and it's for their high school?
Yeah.
EJ, you're muted.
Huh?
Go ahead.
Naima, I just sent you to a room. You should be there. Naima.
She's lied down.
Is she frozen? No, she's not. Well, she's not blinking. I think she's frozen. It says that she's in a room now. Okay, I'm gonna go join a few other rooms just to pop in there.
All right, I'll stay here and just tell people to go away. You know, yeah, in hindsight, I probably should have been the one. EJ, I'm like alone in here and I'm recording, so I'm like talking and I'm like, in hindsight, I probably should be the one in a breakout room.
So you can see like the work. Okay, let me put you in a breakout room.
Sure.
Joseph says not. It just says that you're not joined. It doesn't say. I'm gonna put you in a random one.
Okay.
You can come up for you just now.
No, here, try like, can you make me not a host? Do you have that power?
Will you still be able to record though?
Oh, true. So maybe this is just what it is.
Let me see if I withdraw co-host permission. Oh no, it's still recording. Okay, I'm gonna now move you.
Okay.
Anything?
No.
Okay, let me tell them 2 minutes left.
Yeah, at this point. Oh, I just got a message. Oh, it's you 1 minute ago.
It's so weird. There's not working for you.
The first time it did. The first time I got put in a group with like Jennifer, Kiara, and Naima.
It just says that you did not join. This won't be very helpful for recording. Let me screen share so that the chart can be there for every kid.
There you go. Well, I mean, we have perfect attendance, and this is 8th grade, so no one's gonna watch
perfect. Perfect. Okay.
Yeah. The attendance has been great, just like across the board.
Yeah, which is good.
Yeah.
Because they miss school, you know.
I think they're just so bored. Yeah. Yeah.
Right, let me close off. They get 60 seconds to come back.
Sure.
And then pull up this chart.
Oh wow, your class almost over. It's so hard. It's so weird getting used to the 40-minute times.
Yes, it's very fast. All right, welcome back, guys. I'm going to share out this chart so that you can see as people trickle in, and you can just correct your work. This will be helpful for your homework, so make sure that you have all the information. Olivia, is that a hand? Or no, you just grabbing your pencil. Okay. Here we go. If you are just joining us, here is the chart that you all were doing in your group. Just go ahead and check your work now as I read through it. Right, so one of the causes that we had was the Sykes-Picot, which was the whole first text of what that was about, creating the new borders of Iran and Iraq. And this caused the ethnic groups to be kind of separated in different countries, right? And the old boundaries were just kind of completely ignored, right? And so that caused the clashing of those cultures. Next, the Iranian border inhabited by ethnic Arabs, and this river was formed the boundary between the Arabs and the Persians, was now in Iran. So this river, which is an important resource, is now in Iran. As a response, Saddam Hussein invaded Iran and gained control of the border and territory. Deborah.
Can I just take a picture?
Yeah. If you want to take a screenshot, take a picture of something else, you can do that so that you can correct your work that way. Great. Okay, we're almost here. Khomeini wanted to overthrow Saddam Hussein. Iran refused Iraq's peace deal. Iran then attacked the oil tankers in Persian Gulf, and the U.S. sent the warship to be stationed there. The oil exports in Iraq and Iran decreased. As a result, economies of Iran and Iraq both suffered immensely. The Iraqi government felt that the Kurds were not loyal to Iraq, and so they killed, we see hundreds of thousands of Kurds. Next, Iran's economy began to deteriorate and the Iraqi forces were progressing, and so as a response, Iran accepted the ceasefire finally. In 1990, the peace agreement was reached, and as a result of that, Iraqi forces then left Iran, and they shared kind of joint control of this river, and they had the prisoner of war exchange. So I'm just gonna leave this up for about a minute so that you can get it all down. I am also going to chat you all the home. Oh, sorry. I'm going back. Don't worry. Here we go. I just chatted everyone the link for the homework for tonight. Again, make sure that you have it to me by 11 tomorrow, as we finish up in these last 2 minutes. I will send it to you guys as I always do on Jupyter as well. As you do this homework, I want you to think about why this war happened. Right, we see where it had its origins all the way back to World War I and these new borders, and think about, well, if these imperialist nations like Great Britain and France had never intervened, right, or if they had given these Middle Eastern countries what they promised, which was independence, think about whether or not this Iran-Iraq war would have ever even happened. And that is one of the first questions on the homework and what it will ask you about. Can I have any hands for what you need to do tonight? And I want to make sure Ms. Kendra gets to start on time. Nope, no hands. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and make Ms. Kendra the host. You guys can put away your history materials. Thank you so much for a good class. Kevin is waving. Very nice. I feel appreciated. But have a good reading class. Talk to you.